Hey ratbags, welcome to another How to Survive Grounded. Today we're going to talk about how important it is to set up certain things to get big rewards later. What am I talking about? I'm talking about SAP catchers. You need a ton of SAP to go ahead and make sure you've got plenty of upgrades and for everything else that you're going to do in terms of building out your base. So it's important you get your SAP collectors up and running as soon as possible. We're also going to look at the dew collector as well so we can get water drops that are pretty much daily. And yeah, let's go. Always worth having lots of grub stuff, including the hides and of course the goo if you're going to be making regular smoothies. So always make sure you get a bunch of these. And it does take quite a lot if you are going to go down the grub route in terms of the tier 1 armor. Now I'm wearing the B armor that we got recently and I think that's going to do. Even though it's the rotten version at the moment, it's still good enough. It's still much better than some of the other sets, bar maybe the ant set. Especially in solo play, as long as you're good at making sure you use your archery skills and you're taking a lot of bow shots, the bow stun can work really well. Ideally, anytime you're going past the oak tree, you do want to collect as many of the acorn shells and the grubs as you can. Now you can build SAP catchers anywhere where there's a large piece of wood. They nerfed it that you can't actually put them on tiny twigs and you can't put them on any structures you craft like you used to either. Some people used to be able to put them on turrets back in the day. So yes, there's lots of places all around the yard you may find larger pieces of wood. You've got some near the painting and the deck, and you've got loads in the upper yard area as well. But you do have to come back over to the oak tree pretty regularly to go and talk to Burgle, and I still feel this is one of the best places to have it. You've seen people build massive platforms around the centre of the trunk of the tree, and that's all well and good, but I don't think you need to probably go that far. You'll have way too much SAP than you'll ever need unless you're planning to spend like 2,000 hours in grounded. Really, all you need is around 3 to 4 SAP collectors and that should do you. Certainly for now, until you maybe get a base in the upper yards and you want somewhere a bit closer. Everything you need is pretty much here as well by the oak tree. You'll get plenty of the acorn tops, there's loads of grass and obviously the big weed stems nearby too. So crafting these, you'll get around 3 to 4 pieces of SAP each 24 hours or so, maybe even more. And anytime you're going past because you're talking to Burgle to hand a chip in or you're just coming here for some more resources, it's simple enough to pick it up and take it on the way home. If you never need any extras, then of course you go and break open some of the big deposits that are hanging near the tree too. Only real big issue in building close to the oak tree is being harassed by any of the spiders. Obviously the wolf spiders, that's where they live. So either wall them off or just be prepared to only go through during the day rather than going over at night time and getting attacked. If you are going to build anywhere else, I really like this plank of wood, particularly in the upper yard. It's definitely the location that I would build a new SAP farm once you start exploring the upper yard and you've got a base nearby. In my Let's Play previously with 1.0, this is where I built a nice mushroom little enclosure, and yeah, this is where I put my farm. Honestly, it's overkill. You just don't need this many. Unless you're playing maybe multiplayer when you've got lots of friends joining the world, then it's maybe a good idea. Or if you really don't want to be collecting it as often, then of course. But it does max out. You can only hold about 4 or 5 pieces before it just fills up. So you can't leave it indefinitely anyway. So alongside some sorting my inventory out, that did take quite a bulk of the day. Before I head home though, I want to make sure that we go and kill some spiderlings or get a bunch of web. And it's also important to go ahead and scan your weed stem too. If you bought fortified bases, you would have seen a bunch of stuff needs it, including a lot of the clover build pieces. But now of course you've got even more now that we've got the frames and scaffolding. So a relatively safe place to go and get a lot of web is nearby the fallen plank. Underneath it of course is the home to a wolf spider and you'll get lots of the spiderlings come in and out around the area. Spiderlings are relatively easy to handle unless you've somehow gotten open a whole bunch of egg sacs and there's like 4 or 5. You shouldn't have too many problems taking them down. Using your axe is probably the best bet and you should be able to kill them with a good few swings. As you progress later in the game, you will find more of the Black Widow spiderlings, and they are no joke. They are definitely much stronger and tougher to beat. Each spiderling that you kill right now, though, you're going to get some web fibre from. You'll notice the rusty nails there as well, making some of the best weapons in grounded in the rusty spear. That'll be a bit later on. We're going to need tier 3 hammer to break them open later. So this plank is also a good spot because they do have trouble getting up sometimes, so you've got plenty of an opportunity to wail on them if you're somehow a bit low or maybe you don't have the best armour. Now I did gloss over the weaknesses, but I guess I should tell you guys, they are weak to spicy and they are very resistant to fresh. They're also resistant against generic damage, that means clubs, and any kind of stabbing, so don't use spears. You better really are off using an axe or some sort of blade. Slight spoiler, but obviously if you kill the brood mother boss, you will gain a new mutation that allows you to have Spiderlings as your pets, and they'll basically come out and attack other creatures occasionally when you're attacked. And unlike junior orb weavers, they won't poison you. So after collecting a ton, I went and used the quick deposit function and got rid of all my stuff that I just managed to get hold of, including some more stuff like upgrade rocks and other bits that I had on me. And it was time just to make sure that we had everything else going and ready. Maybe do some more upgrades on whatever weapon you choose. Now, like I said, sometimes it's worth upgrading definitely tier 1 stuff up to level 5, whatever it is, whatever armor or weapon you prefer, because you will always be able to get more tier 1 rocks. I would say probably not worth necessarily upgrading your tier 2 weapons too much though, because it won't be too long before you're getting tier 3. Of course, don't forget to go ahead and analyze some of the web to unlock silk rope, and now we can go ahead and craft our water dew collector. I'd already crafted a spinning wheel previously, and now we could go ahead and just chuck in a bunch of the web and leave it. Make sure again you're doing it just before you go to sleep, and when you wake up in the morning you'll have a whole ton of the silk rope ready to go. If the spinning wheel isn't showing up, do remember to go and make sure you've got and picked up clay, obviously red ant parts, sap, and of course you should have crude rope, but it should unlock once you pick up acorn tops too. Once you've got some silk rope, go and analyze it, and then this will unlock the bunch of new stuff like the dew collector, as well as the spider dagger and a tier 2 bow. 5 silk, 8 pebbles, 6 weed stems and 5 crude rope, and you should be able to go ahead and build your collector. At this point, I'd also gotten enough pieces to make my aphid slippers. One of the best armor sets in the game, certainly is mixing that up with a few other things later. But absolutely gets you around the yard super quick. And although the durability on it really sucks, I still think it's worth investing in upgrading. Now, like I said, I'm upgrading some of these rotten weapons because we're going to hopefully get the rotten berry charm very soon. And that's going to make all the difference in making them much stronger. So it took quite a while to get some of that stuff, and it didn't seem maybe like I did anything super exciting. But as I said, it will help you out in the long run, getting the sap collectors up and running very quickly. So some extra housekeeping and resources gotten. I made sure I had plenty of healing smoothies and made sure I had plenty of food, and also grabbed the resources that you can make a lean-to, because we're going over to the hedge in the next episode and we're going to complete it. If you're playing along, let me know. If you know any great tips, also let me know. Where do you like to build your sap collecting farm? And I'll see you rat bags for another How to Survive Grounded soon. Bye bye.